Good evening, and thank you for joining us for our fourth and final live webinar of the year titled Holiday Shopping, How to Beat Retailers at Their Own Game. I am Mary Staver, President of the Royal Neighbors Foundation. Royal Neighbors is all about empowering women, whether it is through our financial products, member benefits, volunteer opportunities, or through the work of our independent foundation. The Royal Neighbors Foundation is a 501c3 public charity dedicated to building women's futures through financial education. The foundation is proud to partner with certified financial planner Lauren Lyons Cole to provide women across the country information and resources to help them become more financially secure. These resources, including webinars like this one, are provided free of charge, thanks to our generous donors who believe in our mission of empowering women financially. I'd like to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules tonight to learn tips on how to save money during the holiday season. A really popular topic as we begin to plan for those important shopping dates to get those important gifts. Before we get started, though, I'd like to go through a few features of the webinar. If this is your first time joining us online, I would like to quickly point out the chat box on the left side of your screen there. Please feel free to type in any comments or questions that you have so Lauren can respond to those directly. As you can see, our facilitator is monitoring this chat box to make sure we don't miss any of your questions. And I was talking to Lauren earlier, and she has done a lot of research about the upcoming Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So this is your opportunity to get in on some very important information that's going to help you be very successful this year when you engage in your holiday shopping. We'll also post a few polls throughout the webinar. So if you are in a larger group, it may be difficult to get a consensus, but you can either choose to skip those polls, that's fine, or just select a participant from your group to answer based on their own circumstances. Let's start with finding out how many people are watching as a group. So, how many people are in your group? So we've got some people responding. Okay, great. Thanks for participating. So let's go ahead and get started. As I said before, we're proud to partner with personal finance expert Lauren Lyons Cole. She's helped thousands of people change the way they think and the way they think about money by getting organized, spending smarter, and earning more. Lauren has been a frequent guest on the Today Show, CBS This Morning, and Fox and Friends. So please help me welcome Certified Financial Planner Lauren Lyons Cole. Hi, Lauren.
Hi, Mary. Thanks so much. Thanks for the great.
Are you getting ready to do your holiday shopping?
Holiday shopping is one of my, the funny thing is for me right now, it's really busy at work where there's so many different media opportunities to talk about saving on shopping that it's hard enough for me to find time to do my own shopping. So I'll probably be doing Cyber Monday, but I'll talk about that throughout the webinar.
Okay, great.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. As Mary said, I know we're getting into the holiday season, so finding 30 minutes on a Tuesday night is not easy, so I'm glad you guys are all here. And I just want to take a quick second, again, to emphasize, Mary said, by all means, please don't be afraid to throw up questions in the chat box. We've got people behind the scenes managing them, and if we have anything at the end of the webinar, I'm happy to answer those questions. And of course, if you forget, you can always send us an email through the Royal Neighbors Foundation website or through my own website, which is just laurenlyonscole.com, and you guys know royalneighborsfoundation.org. So please, if you have questions, let us know, or if you have any ideas for next year's webinars, we're starting to think about themes for 2015, so we welcome your ideas. And one other quick note is find us on Facebook. You can look up the Royal Neighbors Foundation. You can look me up, Lauren Lyons Cole, and follow us because we tend to post tips and financial things throughout the week. So if you want to keep this in your mind, especially going into the holiday season, it's a good time to interact on Facebook. So yeah, hi, welcome everyone who's saying hi in the chat box. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so it is that time of year again, and I would actually be curious to know how many of you have already started shopping, because the studies are coming back showing that a lot of consumers are getting their holiday shopping out of the way before Black Friday even starts. But since we're talking about holiday shopping, and traditionally that does begin on Black Friday, let's just find out how many of you plan to shop with the crowds on Black Friday. And I know this is not an amateur sport. People who shop on Black Friday are serious shoppers. That's interesting. Okay, about half of you say you'd rather shop online or at other times. Very interesting. Cool. So in fact, this year, something that's starting to happen even more so than years before, a lot of stores are extending their Black Friday into Thanksgiving. You've probably already seen this in a lot of the advertisements, that actually a lot of stores are opening at like 5 p.m. on Thanksgiving Day. And so if you do plan to shop on Black Friday, you probably want to plan your turkey dinner to happen at lunchtime so that you can get to the stores, get there in time for the doorbusters, which is when the great sales really happen. But tonight we're going to focus on how to make sure that if you're getting those great deals, how to make sure that the retailers aren't tricking you into spending even more than you planned. Because of course, as you know, the doorbusters are just a way to get you into the store. And they're hoping that once you're in the store, you're going to pile your cart full, just like the people in these pictures. These pictures crack me up. Because the thing is, like, once you get all that stuff home, you have to put it somewhere in your house, right? So do you really need that many toys for your kids or grandkids? And if you look closely at this picture here in the bottom right corner, it's actually a little kid sleeping in the cart with all the sheets and clothes and stuff piled on top, which I thought was very cute. So I threw that in. So the holiday shopping forecast, we've got a lot of data that's coming out, and like I said, 2 out of 5 people have already started their holiday shopping. A big reason, and I appreciate this reason, is to spread out their budget. So if you haven't already saved up a big chunk of money for your holiday shopping, you may want to start a little bit sooner so that you have more cash, in November, even better if you start in October, and then of course December to put towards your gifts. And a lot of promotions have been happening ahead of Black Friday this year. I've even had some retailers tell me they're calling it Black November, which in some ways is depressing because that's a lot of shopping. But in other ways, if you're not a procrastinator, if you like to be the early bird that gets the worm, then you've probably already found some good sales. And of course, the late season crowds, that's the hard thing about Black Friday, is you have to be willing to kind of fight the crowds. And especially with those doorbusters, it might look like a great sale, but a lot of times they're limited quantities, and by the time you get to the store, you might have put a lot of effort into parking and getting a cart and shoving your way through the crowd just to find that the item you came for is sold out already. So one quick tip on that, actually, I learned today that many retailers, like 70% of retailers, will actually be putting their doorbuster deals online as well, which you can pick up in the store or have shipped to you a lot of times for free. So if there's a doorbuster you're really, really interested in, check the website in addition to planning to go to the store, because you might have good luck that way. Online shoppers plan to spend 16% more than other shoppers. So in some ways, you would think that shopping on Cyber Monday would save you money because you're not going into the store and being tempted by impulse purchases. But in fact, online shoppers are planning to spend more. So if you're one of those people, it becomes very important to make sure you have a list and that you know exactly what you're shopping for, and that you're not just buying things because they're on sale or because you get free shipping. Another quick tip on that, return policies can be different around the holidays. So you don't want to just buy a bunch of stuff and expect that you can return it later. You got to double check the return policies as well, especially for online items. Sometimes they have a shorter, it might only be a 2-week or a 30-day turnaround, which may not happen before the gift actually gets given at Christmas. So just be aware of that if you're shopping online or in stores. On average this year, people are planning to spend just under $600 in gifts for others. And I like to put this up because I think it's a good gauge for those of you who are trying to set a budget for your holiday shopping. If $600 is the average, if you're spending way above $600, you may want to reconsider scaling back your planned purchases. And if you're spending less than $600, good. Please keep that up, because it's so much stuff. $600 worth of stuff is a lot to to spend money on, and it's a lot to give. And there's really, it just really depends on your budget as far as how much you can actually afford to be generous with other people. And most people say that it's just the thought that counts, not the amount of money that you're spending. So, and then I love this too, self-gifting. People are spending a little over $100 on average. Something tells me that this might be the guys who go on Black Friday who reward themselves with buying like a new TV or something. So self-gifting, of course, happens this time of year as well. So when it comes to shopping, I know a lot of you are really good at finding the good deals and looking through all of the ads and, researching it all. There's so much information online, all the coupon websites, if you're watching the news. You can find a lot of good deals. But the trick is to stay one step ahead of the retailers and make sure you know that you're winning. You don't want them to be the ones winning. You want to get the good deals and then get out of the store. So we're going to go through 4 different ways that stores try to trick you into spending more when it comes to shopping. And we're actually just going to throw up another quick poll question because shopping has a different impact on our emotions, obviously. For some people, it makes them really happy and excited and is a stress reliever. Some people do it because they feel stressed. They decide to go shopping and treat themselves. You can feel powerful to have the money to spend. Guilty. People, sometimes feel guilty because they are buying those gifts for themselves instead of for kids, or feeling tired. That's actually how shopping makes me feel, if I'm honest. It makes me tired. But that might be because I'm in New York, so shopping requires a lot of walking. We don't have cars. So interesting. Okay. So a lot of people feel it's about half and half. It's either a happy, good feeling or it's a stressed feeling. It's good to be aware of that when you're going into the holiday season. So one thing that stores do, and this really gets me every time, this happens year-round, and it's worse during the holiday season, but stores create this sense of urgency. And I know we can all fall victim to this, where it's like, okay, I have to buy this right now. This sale is only going on for this short period of time. And it's this feeling that if I don't get it, I'm going to miss out. And that's just, it's a psychological thing that stores tap into. I have 2 examples here. The first one's from Macy's, and the second one underneath that is from J. Crew, even though it doesn't say J. Crew. The funny thing is, if you're on the email list for these stores, like for instance, J. Crew sends out an email every day. Every day there's a sale at J. Crew. It's, sometimes it's 25% off, sometimes it's 40% off, but every day there's a sale. So the concept that there's a sense of urgency is very silly, because if you just wait 4 days, the 40% deal is going to come back. So there's really no reason to rush into buying something and to buy something without thinking and then have buyer's remorse later. So most sales really are not urgent. The exception to this rule, again, of course, are the doorbusters on Black Friday, which now will be actually Thanksgiving at 5 p.m. But those sorts of deals have urgency because they're limited quantities. And when you see that, if you know that that is part of the deal, it'll say it in clear writing. In that case, you might be motivated to act quickly if it's something that's on your list and if it's a really good deal, which they often are. Of course, that might require camping out in front of Best Buy for, I've read somewhere online say that some women have been doing it already for like 2 weeks, camping in front of Best Buy. So that doesn't sound very fun. Those sort of deals, you want to differentiate basically between the ones that are like, whoa, everything's on sale, and the ones that are actually urgent. So don't let stores make you think that every sale is urgent. You have to be a discerning customer when it comes to those sorts of things. And a good way to get around this really is to sign up for the email list at your favorite stores. So if you always shop at Macy's or if you shop at Best Buy or Target, get on their email list so that you start to see the cycle in the sales. And then you're in the loop even on times of year when you're not shopping. This is another thing that I think is very effective that retailers do. They call it the strike zone. And there's a few different strike zones in a store. You probably have already noticed this at the grocery store. If you look at the high shelves, you'll see the most expensive products, the expensive cereals, the name brand items, and then down on the bottom shelves will be the store brand or the cheaper options. So stores do that because our eyes are drawn, at eye level. That's where we're going to look first, and we're going to see and most likely pick up the more expensive package. So stores do these sorts of tricks that they test it, they know that this works. So That's one example at the grocery store. Look down, look at the bottom shelves. You've probably heard that before. Another thing, when you get to the checkout line, 90% of shoppers buy something that is not on their list just because they're bored waiting in line. And I use an example, this pictures of TJ Maxx. I don't know if you guys have been into TJ Maxx or Marshalls lately, but those stores are amazing at tricking us with their checkout lines. You have to just totally not look at all the products because there's always cheap, seemingly useful, cute things there tempting you to throw it into your cart. And it really takes a lot of effort not to throw things into your cart. So be aware, if you've come to the store, if you go in on Black Friday or any of your holiday shopping, just avoid the checkout line. I like to tell people that this is a good time to catch up on Facebook or texting. This is a good time to look at your smartphone. It's a really good time to not look around you because it's very easy to fall prey to that. Or set a goal. So this holiday season, you're not going to buy anything in the checkout line. Because a lot of times those are cheap gifts or things, maybe you're like, oh, so-and-so, my neighbor across the street would love this little small thing. And it's really not something you were planning on spending. If you do that at every store you go into, you can easily spend an extra $100, which can break your budget for the holiday season. So try to avoid the checkout line. Don't let the stores win. Don't let the stores get you to throw something into your cart. In fact, they can increase their revenues by about 30% just by having this crowded checkout line like what TJ Maxx does. So it's, important to them and also important to us to avoid that. It's like a game. End caps are the other thing. So this is another 30% of store sales. These strike zones are exactly how the stores make the money. You might come in to buy one specific item. You need to get a gray sweater for your aunt. You come in and then you walk out with 5 different things that you weren't planning on buying. Chances are those extra things you purchased are located in the checkout line or in the end cap. So the end caps is crazy because it's only 2% of inventory, and they can literally make another 30% of sales just by calling out certain products. And in most cases, the brands are actually paying to rent this space. So the store is getting double paid here, right? So in this example, the M&M's company is paying to have their product on this end cap. In addition, if you throw a bag of M&Ms into your cart, then M&Ms is making money, but so is the store. So it's another way that stores drive up their sales. And holiday shopping, this is the time where stores need to make sure they make the most money during this time of year. So they're really focused on trying to get you to throw things into your cart. This one's very interesting. I like this. To avoid the strike zones while holiday shopping from Vicki. That's a great challenge. If you can just do all of your holiday shopping not with the strike zones, unless it's something that was already on your list before you went to the store, I think that's a really good challenge. That can really, you could keep track of how much money you save year over year by avoiding that. Big holiday budget breakers there. So here's another thing that stores do, and this is really smart if you think about it. It's called anchoring is the technical term, and we don't really have a sense to judge how much is this TV really worth. So you look at a TV, we're not TV experts, so I don't know, it looks like a nice TV, but what is the value? So what stores do to try to help us assign value is they place relative products around it. That's why when you go to Best Buy, there are, 40 different televisions sitting there. And that's a way to look, well, okay, this one's bigger, so that's why this one costs more, or this one has some different type of technology that I've never heard of, so that must be why this one costs more. This one looks thinner, this one looks more modern, this one's on sale because it's a floor model or an older model. And the stores do that so that we can evaluate, basically. Now, am I willing to pay extra for the bigger TV or the newer technology? And it's really a ploy to help us buy a specific, ultimately they're trying to push products, they're trying to get us to buy something. Most people tend to avoid the extreme, so most of us are not going to buy the most expensive TV. And we're also not going to buy the cheapest TV. We're going to look for something in the middle. So stores will, or we're going to look for something that's got a good discount. Stores know this, and so they're going to put an expensive TV and a less expensive TV next to the TV that they're actually trying to sell. So pay attention to this when you go to the stores, especially if you're shopping for electronics, whether it's a laptop, a computer, a camera, or a tablet, any of these sorts of products, it's really, really hard for us to judge how much value the electronic actually has. So it's a good way for the stores to get us to sell things. And look at it, try to step back and think, maybe the cheaper option is the right option for me. Why am I gravitating towards this middle option? Is this actually the right option? So just be aware of the psychology that the stores are trying to pull on you when you see this at the stores. And this is another thing that that stores know and do. So when we pay with credit cards, studies have shown over and over and over again that it's not as painful to pay with a credit card. We don't feel the same loss of money, the loss of income when we pay with cash as we do with credit cards. There's some sort of disconnect in our brain. And so stores know this, which is why during the holiday season and year-round, they're always trying to push their store credit card, right? They're always trying to get you to sign up for a credit card deal. And sometimes that's a good deal, especially if you get a new job and you're buying a whole new work wardrobe and you're spending hundreds of dollars and you get 15, 20% off, something like that. That could be worth it. But a lot of times, especially during the holiday season, this is an area where the stores can get us to spend more than we plan to spend. In fact, the average American household has over $7,000 in credit card debt. So just think about going into the holiday season, if you spend another $600, that adds on, and this, rather than starting to pay down the debt, the balance will continue to grow. So this is certainly a problem, especially if you're accidentally falling into the trap of the impulse purchases, little tchotchkes that you don't need, that don't cost very much money, but that add up. If you're paying with that with a credit card and you don't have the cash in your bank, it's even worse for your bottom line. This is really interesting, I think. Fast food stores have kept track of how much people spend at the fast food store based on if they're paying with a credit card or if they're paying with cash. And they've found that if you're paying with a credit card, you're more likely to spend $7 on average as opposed to $4.50 when paying with cash, which is such an interesting difference because you can't necessarily attribute that to the fact that someone who pays with cash needs less food or that they eat less or they have a smaller family or that they don't like milkshakes, So clearly there is something here with the credit cards, and especially with the impulse purchases. We know that shoppers spend over half as much, 56% more, when using a credit card instead of cash. So if this is an issue for you, especially if you're someone who's carrying a credit card balance, consider this year leaving the credit cards at home, taking out the cash ahead of time, and only spending that cash. That'll make it a lot harder to pick up the impulse purchases at the last minute, and a lot harder to create more of a credit card balance that you're just going to have to pay off later. And so actually, let's throw up the poll question. How do you pay for your holiday shopping? And now that we've talked about this, you can answer as far as how you plan to pay this year. Are you going to be paying off your credit cards in full and using those so that you get your rewards points? Will you be doing credit cards and paying the balance off over time, or just using cash or debit card, or both? That's good. Great. So, all right, no one's planning to pay the balance off over time. That makes me very, very happy. So make sure that that is indeed the way that your holiday season goes. So, and this also applies if you've got kids, maybe who just graduated from college, who are trying to figure out money for the first time, especially if this is one of their first holiday seasons. You might want to talk about these sorts of psychology tips with them to make sure that they're establishing good habits now so that they don't get in the hole and have to dig themselves back out of it later. So tips for 2015. What are the things that we need to be looking out for at the stores this holiday season? Now that we kind of know some of the psychology behind the anchoring of the price, TVs, setting the values, and not paying with credit cards, all these avoiding the strike zones, all the things that stores are doing to try to get us to put more money into their bottom line and take it out of our bottom line. What can we do as consumers? So one thing, it's gotten a lot more popular lately is price matching. And most retailers are saying that they're allowing price matching now. So this is huge. If you're not using price matching, you're missing out on money. You're missing out on savings. So you can use an app like Red Laser if you have a smartphone. That's pretty popular at this point. If you're shopping online, you can use Google Shopping, quick ways to compare different stores for the same item to see who has it for the cheapest price. This can be a differential of as much as $100. In fact, this past weekend I had some friends in town visiting and we went shopping, and one of my friends found a pair of boots that she really liked, and she quickly Googled, I'm sure you guys have done this, she quickly Googled it. The price in the store was literally $100 more expensive than buying them online through a different retailer. So she tried them on in the store, knew what size she needed, and then bought them online and had them shipped to her house. So this is the way that shopping is in this day and age. We don't have to go from store to store to comparison shop. So if you're not comparison shopping, you're really being irresponsible with your holiday savings. So don't be afraid when you get up to the counter. I've actually done this at Best Buy, where I know that if I'm buying an ink cartridge for my printer and Amazon has it for one price and I go to Best Buy, you just pull it up on your phone, show them the actual price at Amazon, and they will right there at the cash register price match it and give you the same price as Amazon. So you can save a few dollars or up to $100 just by not being afraid to ask. Sometimes they'll even give you an additional discount on top of the price matching, so you might as well ask for that too. Free shipping promotions are going to continue to be very, very important. A lot of stores really are pushing for the online shoppers. They're doing everything they can to try to capitalize on that trend towards more people shopping online and spending more money. So if you're paying for shipping this holiday season, you are paying too much. Make sure that you're getting the free shipping deals, but also make sure that you're shopping far enough in advance so that you're not stressed out when it's getting too close to the holidays and you need to wrap the presents and put them under the tree or whatever. It's going to be a lot of shipping. A lot of the shippers, FedEx, UPS, the U.S. Postal Service, they're gearing up for their biggest year yet. So you want to make sure you're giving yourself plenty of time to get those packages delivered to your door. Another thing to avoid this season is browsing. So whether you're online or in stores, every time you're browsing, you're putting yourself at risk of making an impulse purchase. So don't let yourself do it. Who has time to browse anymore? Right? So just make sure that when you're in the stores, avoid the strike zones, but also avoid the tendency to just sort of mindlessly drift from one place to the next. And if you see yourself reaching for something and putting it in your cart that you don't actually need, give yourself 15 minutes before you go to the cash register. Let your brain process the excitement of, ooh, pretty object, good sale, must purchase. You can put it in your cart, but let your brain think through it before you actually pay for it. And if you have any doubts, by the time you get up to the register, take it out of your cart and leave it there. The only time I would say the opposite of this would be if you're someone who, not everyone can shop from a holiday shopping list, and I realize that that's not realistic. A lot of people like to make a list, but if you're someone who doesn't like a list and likes to be inspired before you make a purchase, then I would encourage you to check out Small Business Saturday, which is the Saturday after Black Friday. And if you live, in whichever town that you live in, your local boutiques or your local coffee shops or any sort of local small business stores that you have, they're doing a lot. They're doing a lot of sales trying to compete with the big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And so you're going to see some really good sales from them on Small Business Saturday. If you have an American Express card, you should log into your online account and register your card for Small Business Saturday, because you can actually get $10 back at 3 different retailers, so up to $30 for every American Express card you have. So if you have multiple American Express cards, you can register all of them. If you have multiple users, like you and your husband or you and your children, everyone can get this deal. So there is potential for a lot of money to get refunded back to your card, over $100, just from shopping at small local retailers. So if you're someone who likes to browse and likes to be inspired, I think that's a better path to go than to walk into such a huge store like Target or Best Buy or somewhere that's very overwhelming, and where they have a huge team of marketing specialists who are putting products in front of you to try to get you to purchase them, whereas these small stores are not going to have quite the same sophistication when it comes to that sort of thing. So you're more likely to find products that you actually like and that will add value to the family or friends that you're shopping for. So Small Business Saturday would be my one exception for people who prefer to browse. I think that is a really good way to go about doing that. And the other thing the studies are finding, 60% of people this year just want gift cards. For the 8th year in a row, it is the most requested gift when it comes to holiday shopping, and it's so easy. You don't even have to think about it. If you've got nieces or nephews or even your own children, even your husband or whoever, you can just get them a gift card, and it makes your life easy and it makes them happy. And the thing is, you can get great discounts on gift cards, and a lot of people forget about this. You don't want to do gift cards where it's an American Express or Visa deal at like CVS or wherever, where you have to pay an extra $4 or $5 to purchase the gift card. You want to look for deals, usually store deals. So the top 3 most popular gift cards are Target, Walmart, and I just got distracted on the third one. Target, Walmart, and I think it might be Best Buy. Starbucks is also very popular. So you can always just go to one of those retailers and get a card that people are going to like. Costco, Sam's Club, the big warehouse stores will sell discounts on the gift cards, so you might be able to get $120 worth of gift cards for only $100. Look for those sort of deals. You can also use gift card exchanges, like there's a new one called Raise, like asking for a raise at work. Raise is a good one, and there's another one called Card Cash. There's Gift Card Granny. There's a bunch of these places where you can buy gift cards at a discount. So it's awesome, because then you're giving a gift that's maybe $25 and you only paid $18 for it or paid $20 for it. So it stretches your gift a little bit further, allows you to spend a little bit more. A lot of people don't realize that you can get discounts on gift cards. So definitely keep an eye out for that. But look out, because some stores, if there's a store that's recently undergone bankruptcy or just doesn't have a good gift card policy, maybe they expire too soon, you want to avoid those type of gift cards. So really look into it. Read the fine print. I know it's not very fun, but if you're going to give gift cards. And with millennials, 40% of millennials admit to losing a gift card, which is a terrible statistic. So anyone who has a millennial in their life, that's people around like age 30 or younger, you might want to consider giving them an e-gift card, something where it's in their email or they can save it into their mobile app, some app on their phone or whatever, so that they're not as likely to lose the gift card. So that's another thing to keep in mind as you're going into the holiday season. The discounted gift cards, so sorry if I wasn't clear, where you can get those. Certain stores will have those sorts of promotions. So I know Target just had one recently where you could get iTunes gift cards, like buy one, get the second one 30% off or something like that. There's actually a Twitter account called iTunes Gift Cards. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And they track all the deals. So if you're looking for iTunes gift cards specifically, that's a good place. And then on these, the websites that I was mentioning where you can buy the discounted gift cards, it's sort of like a gift card secondhand exchange where you're buying other people's unwanted gift cards. So that's the website that I mentioned called Raise, Gift Card Granny, Card Cash. So visit those websites and you can find discounted gift cards there. It's a lot of times, like at the website raise.com, what happens is they just transfer the amounts of the gift card to you electronically online, and then you can use that amount to buy a brand new gift card, so it doesn't look like you're giving someone an old gift card. Or keep in mind, if you have gift cards that you're not using, that might be a great opportunity to re-gift those this year. I'm not telling anyone, if it's something that you're not going to use. $1.7 trillion in gift cards go unused, which is silly. We might as well use those. So if you have some sitting around, pull them out, use them this holiday season. And Jean Baker has a good tip here to check out Little Boxes for Black Friday and Small Business Saturday. I'm not sure what that is. I'm going to check it out. And so maybe if anyone else wants to, I'm guessing we can Google that, Little Boxes for Black Friday and Small Business Saturday. So thank you, Jean, for that tip. And so that's it. That's all we have for today. Those are, hopefully we didn't go through them too fast, but keep these things in mind, even if they're things that you've learned before. It's a good refresher as we're going into the holiday season. One other thing I would just mention is Charles Schwab just did a study recently that showed that a lot of people have goals for the New Year's as far as, getting in shape, getting their finances in shape. And if we're talking about buying gift cards anyway, it's worth mentioning that you might want to consider buying, you could buy personal training for people who want to get in shape. You could buy Blue Apron is a company that sells meals you can cook at home that are healthy. Or you can also buy financial services for people. Consider buying a gift. Have them meet with your local financial planner, somebody that you trust, or give them a subscription to one of the great financial services that exist online. So those are other ideas that don't even require going into a store, that are very thoughtful and might be helping the loved ones in your life reach their goals. So keep those things in mind as well. And thank you all for hanging out and participating. Looks like definitely some people have a lot of gift cards from last year that they might want to be putting to use for this year. So keep that in mind. Don't use all your hard-earned cash.
Thanks, Lauren. I have a question for you. Have you started your Christmas shopping or your holiday shopping yet this year?
I am so bad at I have not started. So I need to make a list. I don't like to start until I've had time to make a list, and I'm one of those people who really likes to be inspired. I don't like to buy, I don't want to buy my dad another tie. I want to buy him something creative, but it takes a lot of effort to think about how you're going to get a good deal and buy something that is thoughtful. So, in other words, I'm usually a last-minute shopper.
Agreed. It is nice to put thought into those gifts, but it does take time. So we need to start thinking about it because it's right around the corner.
So true. Have you started your holiday shopping?
I would like to thank you again, Lauren, for tonight's webinar. It was very helpful, and I would like to take an opportunity to remind all of our members who are participating that there are retail discounts available to you through your member benefit package. And those are another way to take advantage of holiday shopping and saving some money. And you can find those if you go to our website and just hit the member benefit tab. And you'll find a number of retailers as well as restaurants and some other participating discount organizations that you can really save some money that way as well. So don't forget about your valuable member benefit package with Royal Neighbors. I think that's all the time we have for tonight. A survey will pop up on your screen after you exit the webinar, so please take a few moments to complete it so we can incorporate your feedback and thoughts and any suggestions that you might have for webinars in the future. And also, you might have an opportunity then to support the foundation in its efforts to reach more women by making a tax-deductible donation and allowing us to continue to do these valuable and informative webinars with Lauren. So on behalf of the Royal Neighbors Foundation and Certified Financial Planner Lauren Lyons-Cole, I would like to thank you all for joining us at this busy time of year, and we do hope to see you next year. We are going to continue the webinar series, and you will be watching our website to find out more about that in 2015. But in the meantime, happy holidays and happy shopping. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Happy holidays.